Among the most talked about films of the year is Todd Phillips' Joker. I'm Zach Laws of Gold Derby, and with me now is the composer of that film, Hildur Guonadottir. I hope I got that right. Let me ask you first off, Hildur, this film, obviously, I suspect you knew that a lot of eyes were going to be on it just because of the character and the subject matter. Did you realize that it was going to be as widely talked about, as widely debated as it ended up being?
No, I wasn't really expecting that at all. Like, I was actually expecting it to be a bit more controversial. I was expecting people to to not like it as much as they did, because the take on this character is maybe not what people expected, and this is not like an action film. So I was expecting more people to be more irritated by the lack of action in it. But no, it's been magnificent to feel the response and to feel how people seem to be truly responding to what the film is about, and that it's kind of almost like, it's not just about this character, but it's about subjects that are like so much deeper and quite current. So it's been just truly wonderful to feel the level of how people are connecting to it. It's been fantastic. But there's obviously a bunch of people that are irritated, of course, about the lack of action. but I think it doesn't. In general, it's been quite positive, the response.
Yeah, the interesting thing about the movie is that it's ostensibly based on a comic book character, but it's not your typical comic book movie. It functions more as kind of like a psychological thriller and a character study. Looking at your filmography, there doesn't seem to be anything in there that would scream like superhero movie score. Was the concept of working on like a quote unquote superhero movie something that was foreign to you, or did you find your way into it through it being kind of more of like a psychological character study thriller type thing?
Yeah, well, when Todd first contacted me and asked me if I was, he said that I'm working on a movie about Joker, and I'm wondering if you'd be interested in scoring it, and my first initial reaction before reading a script was like, really, am I the right person to score a superhero movie? I'm not sure, because then I kind of briefly watched some of the Batman films, and I was like, well, I'm not really sure if I'm the right person for a movie of this sort. And then I read the script, and I was like, okay, I get it. Okay, no, I am totally the right person to do this, because it was really clear from when I read the script that it was nothing of the sort, and it was definitely not a superhero movie, and it was definitely a story about the emotional landscape and turbulence of someone who's been grossly mistreated and is going through a lot of inner turbulence, and the movie is very much this kind of inner journey of the character figuring out his past and where he comes from. So I definitely thought it was super, super interesting.
Right, and the movie really does place you within the mind of this character. So talk a bit about how you wanted the music to function. What were some of your initial ideas for the score, and how it would place the audience in the mindset of that character?
Yeah, well, those are those are really key terms in that sense, because so when Todd sent me the script and I really loved it, he asked if I was interested in writing the music, writing some music based on the feelings that I got from the script, and it was very important to me that the music would feel like being inside his head, and that the music would kind of be the voice of his inner landscape, and that's also like the journey of the film is so carried with this one character. There's almost no other characters in the film except from like him and his inner journey. So the music really had to kind of be that, and I accessed that through the cello, because I knew that Todd, who had known my solo work, that is largely carried with the cello. I knew that the cello had to be kind of at the center of carrying this voice, and kind of being like his emotional journey would be led by the cello. So that was the starting point for that. So a lot of the music that I wrote from in the very beginning, after reading a script, is ended up being the main themes of the movie, and they shot large parts of the movie to the music. So a lot of or there's some scenes that didn't exist in the script that are just Joaquin responding to the music, like the bathroom dance scene, for example, wasn't in the script originally, and what we see in the movie is him responding in real time to the music, and that's kind of the turning point of Arthur becoming a Joker was led with the music.
That's interesting, because usually it's the other way around. The composer gets the footage after it's been shot, and they have to write their music according to that. And I mean, in this case, it sounds like your music was really informing the storytelling to a degree.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I know that Joaquin told me a few weeks ago that he was having some problems, like finding this transition, like from Arthur to Joker, and he said that the music was really a key part in that process. It was really influential in him finding this twist and finding his way in. And I know that's I also heard from the cinematographer that it was really influencing just the tempo and the cinematography, and because it was played on set a lot, and so a lot of the elements of the film are kind of informed by the tempo of the music and the tonality of the music, and it's just a really rare and beautiful way of collaborating, when all the elements of the film can grow together from day one, and nothing is running after anything else. Everything is just kind of growing simultaneously. It was a really, really beautiful process.
The music also serves as a way to keep the audience on edge a lot of the time. Because the movie has this brooding, gloomy quality, and it also is like you're watching this guy slowly self-destruct, or in his mind, slowly gain some confidence. Can you talk a little bit about the way that you created tension in the movie?
Yeah. So I kind of did that with the orchestration. So I felt that since the music really kind of had to be Arthur's character, and it had to be what Arthur is trying to understand, and what he's trying to realize, and what he feels like. The melodies are all very sparse, and there's almost no harmony, and there's there's no like cool rhythms, or it's very simple, and it's very to the point. And I thought that was really crucial to Arthur's character, because he is, in his simplicity, just trying to fit in, and he just doesn't understand why he doesn't fit in, and the way he does that, I think, is just really to the point. And it's whenever I try to add a lot of harmonies or anything cool, it never fit him. It was just like it didn't feel right for him. So in the beginning, the first scene, for example, when he's being attacked by these kids, he just doesn't understand, like, why, what's happening to me, and there he's, we really feel, almost like sorry for him, and that music is kind of led by the cello, and you almost feel like it's only a solo cello, but in reality there's a whole 90-piece symphony orchestra playing this music behind, but it's almost like inaudible. So I wanted to keep, in the beginning, I wanted the music to be led completely by the cello and keep the orchestra really far behind, because I felt like the orchestra would be a good way to portray this kind of anger and turbulence that's been there the whole time, but he doesn't know that it's there, or he doesn't understand it, and it's just not very present. So as the film, as we kind of go further into the journey of the film, and he understands more about what it is that happened to him and why he is the way that he is, the orchestra kind of starts to kind of creep in and almost swallow the cello. So the orchestra gets more and more and more aggressive, and at the point where he gets these the flashback scenes start to happen, and he really starts to understand, like, okay, these events are not real. Like this is why I'm feeling like this is actually, like, the anchor is real, and the anchor is taking over. The orchestra has swallowed the cello, and the music has become, like, extremely intense, and it's like a kind of gradual crescendo. And then towards the end of the movie, when he's kind of the dancing is triumphant dance, and then, like, that's where I kind of just bombarded in the melodies and the variations, like where he's becoming this multi-dimensional character, and the simplicity that's been going through the whole film becomes more flourished and complicated, because now we have all these different layers of his personality that are now there, they're now present, and he is now the Joker.
Yeah, and I was really interested in watching the movie a second time and looking at how the music functions in the very end of the movie. And I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't seen it yet, but it's this triumphant moment for the character, but a terribly sad moment for humanity. And it's interesting how the music kind of makes you feel that sense of sadness, even though the imagery that's up there is triumphant. Was that your intention?
Yes, definitely. I'm very happy to hear you say that, because yes, very much because I mean, I think it's really clear that that the fact that he is triumphant is sad for us, and it's not. We don't want that to happen in reality. Like it's and I'm sure, like, he himself as a person probably, wasn't expecting to end up in that place and become that character, like in the beginning of his life, so.
Right. Yeah. It's also interesting the way that the music contrasts with some of the source music that's played in the film, because the source music is kind of more upbeat in a lot of ways. Was that a conversation that you had with Todd Phillips about contrasting the, because obviously, I mean, it's going to be a contrast, but was that a part of your musical decision?
No, I didn't really have any say about the source music and the needle drops, but I think the score is, as I said, the score is kind of serving as his inner landscape, and the source music is more, what's happening outside of him, and what's happening in this period, and what's happening in the outside his window more than like inside his head. So I think it works together pretty well in that sense, because I think you also sometimes need a relief from the from the intensity from time to time.
Yeah, no, I was wondering about that, because it is an interesting contrast between like the kind of needle drops in the movie and the way it at times like bleeds into the score and kind of like brings you back to sad reality. Talk a little bit about working with Todd Phillips and what that collaboration is like.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a beautiful collaboration. It was just so I just felt so much trust from him, and I felt that he gave me so much space, and he had so much yeah, he was just like very open to what I felt about, the pace and the music, and it's just it's a really beautiful and oftentimes quite in this, especially in these kind of larger scale productions, it's not always that you have like an open canvas to really express what you really want to say, and I feel that he really did provide that, and it was just a beautiful collaboration, and it's beautiful when you feel that you're a part of a project like this, where everything is just like, everything has so much everything has so much space, and it's just a lot of respect for each person's craft, and I really felt that with Todd, that it was I felt a lot of trust and respect, and that's just, it creates a really fantastic way to create, because I think that, like, as soon as you have some sort of, like, fear and stress and more kind of like the negative the negative parts sometimes of this industry, it can sometimes, like, not be the most creative environment to work in. But I think in this case, we also had a beautiful music editor that has worked with Todd for 10 years, and so they know each other very well. So my dialogue with the music editor was just like really, really wonderful, and really informed by the connection that they had, because Todd and I, of course, hadn't worked together before. So it was just like a very open and creative space, which was really lovely.
Well, before I let you go, you just won your first Emmy, but about a month ago, for Chernobyl. Talk a little bit about what that recognition meant, and I mean, the show in general just dominated the Emmys, winning for limited series and so many other prizes. What did that recognition mean for you?
Well, it's just been really truly wonderful to feel how both these projects have been touching people's nerves, and because I think both projects are so different, but I think both of them have so important and current issues that I think it's important that people kind of talk about and are aware of. And it's just been truly fantastic, because both projects were very important to me, and I really poured a lot of heart and soul into both projects, and it's just been incredible to feel the response from the audience, and it's been incredible, both for Chernobyl and Joker. I mean, I also wasn't expecting Chernobyl to go through the roof like this, and because the series, I mean, it's pretty disturbing. I mean, it's pretty, it really kind of, not even pokes, but kind of pierces into you, like when you watch it, and I wasn't sure how people were going to react to it, but it's just the response has been phenomenal, and and I just think it's just really truly wonderful to feel when you've put so much work into something that you feel is truly important, like outside of any sort of industry, or outside of sort of any art projects you're working on, that is like truly important today. It's important. Like, it's wonderful to feel that people are having such open ears and embracing it as happened with both projects. So it's been wonderful.
Well, Hildur, everybody who has seen Joker has certainly praised the music in it. So thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on work.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. And thanks to all you at home for watching. Make sure the like and subscribe buttons below, and make sure you visit us at goldderby.com for all the latest Oscar news.